When y'all gonna be ready
to talk about Luka being better than Steve Nash and Jason Kidd all time?
Is he better than Luka, or is he better than Steve Nash and J Kidd?
Maybe Steve Nash.
No, nope. I'm not doing that. When you're responsible for what Steve Nash was responsible for and how efficient Steve Nash was, and you've done what he's done in that period of time, no, I'm not doing that. Nope, not doing that at all.
This is Moses Malone and Wemby all over again.
No, it is not. No, it is not the same thing. And the reason why the reason why it's not the same thing is because you think that I'm going off of what Moses Malone did in terms of accolades. We're talking about because Steve Nash and Luka Doncic in terms of accolades at this point. I mean, I don't think it's the same.
What does Steve Nash do better other than shoot? What is he better at?
I think he had better ball handling than Luka. I think he's nicer with the field than Luka. I think he's more efficient with the ball. In terms of being a distributor, I think that they're right there. I don't think that they're that far off his passes. I think Steve Nash is I think Steve Nash is a better decision maker as a distributor than Luka. Yes, I do think that he's
Nash is a better passer.
Totality of his career.
Yes, Nash is a better passer and distributor.
I think he's I think he's right there, if not a better passer. I think he's right there. I think he's a better decision maker than Luka. His shot selection is better than Luka's. I think Luka gets downhill better than him. I won't argue that point. I think they're both what they are on defense. I don't think that should be. I don't think that should be argued. But offensively,
there's levels to awful. You know, like Luka's not an awful defender. Steve Nash is a pylon.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
He's not anymore. He was.
No, he's not anymore. Yeah, he's not anymore.
We can't be stuck in the past.
Stretches. At worst, Luka's decent. Don't forget.
You know what? I would love for Steve Nash to have existed during the TikTok era and like the social media era.
Steve Nash would fry this era. Steve Nash would be awesome in this game today. Holy shit.
Okay.
Steve Nash in today's game.
Sure. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mismatch hunting where I pick on your weakest defender. Yeah, I see what's happening to Trae Young.
And you know what I'm doing? And Steve Nash is dragging, I don't know, Isaiah Smith from Chicago 25 feet away from the basket and destroying him. That's what's going on with him. He's getting Rudy Gobert. He's definitely getting Rudy Gobert in the mismatch hunt. He's definitely.
You know who did get Rudy Gobert in a mismatch hunt and ended his series? Luka.
And you know who else would do that? Steve Nash would do the same thing.
Oh man, Luka is so much better. Y'all kidding me right now?
You want the next one?
Luka's had like 5 seasons that are better than Steve Nash's MVP season already. Like the fact that he doesn't have an MVP, right?
Which ones?
The last 5.
Do you remember what Steve
2020 Luka's better than peak Steve Nash?
Is that what you're saying?
Would define peak Nash?
Okay, 2005, 2006,
you're the one who said the MVPs, so I was just
okay. Hold on.
So
2005, 2006,
2007, 06.
2020 Luka. That's Luka in year 3, by the way. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna have to.
Is it year 2 or year 3?
I'm gonna have to. Let me walk it back because I always go a little bit too crazy. You know, shout outs to DeAndre Ayton, 45 centers better. Let me walk it back. Luka's had 3 seasons, at least 3 seasons, better than every season Steve Nash has ever had.
Okay,
so I would say
22, 23, and 24 are those years you're talking about?
Yeah, and you know what? He's on the verge of authoring another one this year. So there's gonna be 4. But we haven't seen the 4th one yet, so let me not be presumptuous.
I'm higher on Steve Nash than everyone up here, so I
no, you're not, Mars, because I'm right there with you. I'm sitting.
Has Luka had?
Mars, you driving
you think he's better than Luka? That's cool. You're not right where I am. I can assure you of that. But my place in this conversation is Nash is the best of the 3.
Like I said, Mars, you driving the car, Mars. I'm sitting in the front seat with you. You might be higher on him, but I'm definitely in the car with you. No doubt about that.
Mars, can you drive? Good.
Put me in a go-kart. I'll do all right.
Penn, I don't think you remember how good Steve Nash was.
Y'all drive on the wrong side and everything.
And in 2007, he was actually better in 2007 than he was in 2006.
I think Luka's done more with less.
I
think Luka has done more with less.
What?
Pardon?
Nash had Amari. Chill. Luka's never had
Nash had Amari.
Luka's never had Amari.
We all know how high I am on Sean Marion.
Because we're clear.
You know what Luka would do with Amari?
This is the nut shit that I'm.
He probably ruined his career like Melo did.
You do know. So in them 3 years, do you remember when Steve Nash went the furthest?
I know he never made.
The year that Amari didn't play. That's what he's saying.
That was the year that he didn't play, Mars, in 2006. He went to the Western Conference Championship that year. He only played 3 games.
Okay, so is your point right now that Amari Stoudemire is what was keeping Steve Nash out of the finals? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, my point is that y'all making it
How
making
did
it
you
sound like
that?
Because I'm being extremely disingenuous.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Just making sure that you are. Just making sure that we're clear on that. No, my point is that y'all making it sound like Steve Nash, the reason why he was as awesome as he was, because he had. Why did I just draw a blank on his name? I'm sorry. The reason why he was awesome as he was because he had Amari Stoudemire. Okay, well, he was
and
awesome
Sean Marion.
Okay, yes.
And Leandro Barbosa.
Right.
And Boris Diaw. And Boris Diaw.
And none of these guys.
Chill. I'm telling you.
Chill. That's had a squad.
Chill.
Right. And
Superstars. Okay, okay, I know people we don't like
Steve Nash wasn't even the best player on his team.
Okay, hold up. I'm not gonna go there.
Welcome back.
I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is think about the championship cores, think about the championship supporting cast that Tim Duncan had. Think about the championship supporting cast that Paul Pierce had or Kevin Garnett, whoever's team you thought that was. Kobe Bryant. Nobody needed this much help to not make the finals. Steve Nash plus Amari Stoudemire plus Boris Diaw plus Leandro Barbosa. You telling me Kobe with
all of those guys
Kobe with that crew couldn't have made it to the finals?
Steve Nash, all of those guys are complimentary players who Steve Nash
complimentary
every last one of their games.
Those are max.
Are you telling me that Sean Marion? Are you telling me that Sean Marion wasn't a complimentary player? Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm telling you, Sean Marion.
Are you telling me that Barbosa wasn't a
complimentary
player?
to what?
Are you telling me that Barbosa wasn't a complimentary player?
Yeah, Barbosa was, right, but not Sean Marion, not Amari Stoudemire. I'm with you with Barbosa.
Steve Nash was responsible for almost 50% of their offense. Not their points, their offense.
By design.
The reason why that engine was humming the way it was,
but this
was
is what I don't like,
Nash.
I don't like this because you want to give someone credit for something, but you don't want to assign any of the blame to them. This is the same thing this is the issue that I have with the Nico Harrison thing with you. Is like you want to say, well, Steve Nash is responsible for 50% of the offense. Cool. You're responsible for 50% of the offense, and we're going to treat you just like the guy who shoots 55 shots and makes 15. We're going to treat you the same way, which is you took all the shots. If you lose, that's on you. Credit and blame go together, okay? If you're responsible for 50% of the offense, then I need to know why your offense broke down in the finals or before the finals. I need to know why that offense
their offense did not break down. Their offense was great in the playoffs. The numbers.
You don't ask these questions about Jokic. I
just want to put that. I just want to put out
kind of odd.
The Suns offense. The Suns offense from 2005 to 2010, Steve Nash's prime, is one of, if not the greatest 5-year stretch of playoff offense we've ever seen.
Awesome
statistically,
their offense
did not break down in the playoffs.
How are you defining
relative offensive rating? Relative offensive rating. You want to go series by series, it will pair out that way. If you want to go all in totality, 5-year runs, it's them, the Showtime Lakers. I think the Warriors are up there. The Suns' offense was never the problem in the playoffs.
They had one of the most efficient offenses.
So I just want to put that out there. I've stayed out of this conversation. Everyone knows where my horse is. But we're not gonna lie and act like Steve Nash's offense was what was letting down the Suns. It wasn't.
No,
their offense was great.
No,
the only time I would say their offense wasn't great was when they played the Spurs, and I want to say 08.
When people use
the Spurs in 08 was like the only time I would say that.
When people use offensive rating, relative offensive rating, you're understanding also that your roster is balanced towards offense. Your offense is quicker than everybody else.
Yeah,
the offense obviously, man, like if you're an offensively leaning team,
that you just said. Repeat what you just said. I want to make sure I'm following you, Pin. Keep going. Repeat what you just said.
If you are an offensively slanted team, which the Suns obviously were, right? They did not prioritize defense nearly as much as they probably could have. And later on, when they tried to add defensive stoppers, etc., it just wasn't enough to change their DNA. If you are an offensively slanted team, then your offense needs to be that much better in the playoffs to counteract it, right? If you're one of the fastest teams in the league, you need to be that much faster in the playoffs to counteract the fact that the playoffs are going to be slower. I feel very often watching those games, and again, you want to use offensive rating, relative offensive rating, whatever. Yes, relative to the league, their offense was better because their personnel was way better. How many teams had 3 players like that? But when you talk about Steve Nash in the same conversations you talk about Dwayne Wade, is the same conversations you talk about Jason Kidd, I need you to acknowledge that those guys made it to the finals with less than what Steve Nash had. And it's not just bad luck when it happens this many years in a row.
Wow.
Well, maybe if the Suns are in the
I'm
East,
sorry. Jason Kidd made it to the finals with Kenyon Martin, as his second best player. Kerry Kittles. That is nothing compared. None of those players hold a candle to one of those players. Sean Marion is better.
Are you saying that? Are you
considerably?
Are you saying
that's
that?
fine, but like you also got the 02 and 03 East is not the same as the mid 2010s.
Okay,
West.
fine.
It's not.
And not only that,
but also like I just don't like I said this months ago. I don't like the idea that help is only attributed to offense. That Nets team made it to the finals on the strength of being one of the best defenses in the league. So yes, they were very
powered by Jason Kidd, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm giving Jason Kidd as much credit as you can possibly because he was an amazing defender and he spearheaded an offense that was limited. But they weren't making it to no finals off the strength of no offense. The offense sucked. The offense was not good. So when we're talking about help, yes, offensively they were limited, same as the 01 Sixers. But the reason they were able to have any semblance of success getting to the finals in that Eastern Conference was because of the defense they put forth. And all the names you put out there contributed to that elite defense, the same way all those names you're talking about with Steve Nash contributed to that elite offense. Teams make finals, teams make playoff runs. The Suns were limited defensively, but amazing offensively. And that's seen as all this amazing help. When the Nets or the Cavs or whoever who make the finals with weaker offensive talent, but are elite defensively make the finals, it's all of a sudden the best player on the team who's spearheading a bad offense has no help on the team. When the reality is they're winning because they're holding teams to 94 points. When you hold a team to 94, you only need to win with 97. The Suns were having to outscore teams because they didn't have a good defense. So Steve Nash is having to generate 115 points per game because they can't win if they only score 102. So help goes both ways. I'm not saying the Suns didn't have immaculate talent. They did, but they played in a tougher conference than all of these carry jobs that got to the finals. The 01 Sixers, for example, that's the Eastern Conference. We know if they were in the West, they wouldn't have made it close to the finals. They would have got obliterated in that conference. The 02 Nets, the 03 Nets would have got obliterated in the Western Conference. The 07 Cavs would have got obliterated in the Western Conference. The Suns played in 05, 06, 07, 08, missed the playoffs in 09, made it back to the conference finals in 2010. Yes, they were in a tougher conference. Maybe if they played in the 05 East or the 06 East, maybe they would have beat the Heat. Maybe they wouldn't have. Maybe they would have beat the Pistons. Maybe they wouldn't have, but they would have had a better chance. That's for damn sure. The West was a tougher conference. Everyone knows that. So you can't just judge teams based on, oh, this team made the finals, this team didn't. Because that's how you get to the conclusion of the 2018 Cavs were better than the 2018 Rockets, when everyone knows that's not true. But one had to play the Warriors in their conference, and the other one didn't have to play the Rockets until the finals. Conferences matter. We know conferences matter. Making the finals doesn't mean you're better than a team that didn't make the finals when one is in a drastically more difficult conference. The Suns were better than teams that made the finals in the East, but they just weren't in the Eastern Conference. Are you going to tell me the Suns weren't better than the 2007 Cavaliers? Like, are we seriously going to try and say that? Because
no, we're not doing that, Mark. No, we're definitely not doing that.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.